All right, we're live.
Sick.
All right, how you guys doing?
Oh well. So well.
You okay?
We had a really good day. We had a really good week this week. I mean,
Oh, good.
yeah, marriage stuff is picking up, and it's really exciting because we don't even have a lot of the stuff that's gonna really also help the channel. We did 35K in the past 3 days.
Dang, that's damn good.
I know we haven't even like the organic channel's not even running up, and we don't have like the nurturing stuff up yet. So it's like just when all that stuff starts running, it's like, man, we're gonna hopefully start crushing it big time.
Is that from paid ads, the 35K?
Yeah, all paid ads. Yeah,
Nice. That's good.
yeah.
What's your ad spend in that time frame? Right?
I think we're running like 500 a day, 400 a day.
Damn, that's some pretty good ROAS right there.
Yeah, we made it for last week. Our first week of September, we did like almost nothing, so it balances.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of that is that sales rep that I talked about him, Justin. He worked with Sonny Narduzzi. He's going to be fading away. He's going to be like our sales manager for a bit, and then kind of like help us set up these systems. But it just continues to go to show that if you bring an closer in, like how much your company can just automatically change. You know what I mean? If you have a sales call funnel, it's just like,
Yeah.
We have this young guy who closed his first big sale, a younger guy, first big sale yesterday. And so he has a lot of promise. So we're hoping that we can nurture him to a good closer. That'd be sick. Yeah, things are going well.
That's good. Awesome.
That's really good, man. Let me get the right mic.
I finished the second version of the VSL yesterday.
Oh,
We'll start testing that.
you said a new version of your VSL?
Yeah. Version
Okay.
2.0, and then we'll test that. What we're gonna do is my friend, he made a good suggestion of like just like substituting different parts of it, right? Instead of redoing a whole thing every time, just like take a part, replace it with this part, see how that performs.
Yeah.
Right now it's only 20 minutes, so it's not like I recorded it pretty fast. And I think that's a good thing personally, because like a lot of these guys, successful guys, are very busy, right? And so it's like they just want to kind of like get to the point. So
Yeah. I think it too, if you host it on like Wistia, and then you can check, and if you've got it broken into different segments, then you can see where people are dropping off, swap out a segment. I think that'd be a good way to do it. That's a pretty good strategy.
Those stats on Vimeo?
I don't know if I don't really use Vimeo, but I think Vimeo probably has some kind of thing where you can check the drop off. It's, because I would think so.
Wistia.
Maybe it's like if you have paid version of it, like we do. So
No, Vimeo is not that good. You need Wistia.
damn,
You need Wistia for that though. Why don't you use Wistia?
you can do that with YouTube as well. But yeah, we'll I'm pretty sure we use Vimeo and to embed on the websites, but I'll make a note of that right now to use Wistia to make sure that we are check stats.
Wistia is like the best stats in terms of
Okay.
drop offs, play rates, click rates, all those things. It's like the ultimate video player for marketing.
Perfect.
Vimeo is just like video hosting, not really a player per se.
We might use it. I honestly don't know. I'm not the one who embeds the stuff on there. So, but I'll double check. I'll put a note on it. So thank you for that.
Are you guys using close.io for your pipelines?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, it's really good.
I've got one of my coaching clients actually that just paid for close.io, and I mean it's like $25,000 or something like that.
You're talking closers.io.
Oh yeah. You're talking to CRM.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Closers
Yeah.
is for the sales reps. Close.io is for the CRM. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Closers.io. I just got a bad. I mean, man, he's having a horrible experience with closers.io. They're giving him like setters that don't even know they're interviewing for him. They think they haven't even gone through any of the training from closers.io. I think they grew too fast because they just exploded, and they're just taking all this money, but they don't have the bandwidth to actually fulfill. So it kind of sucks because what's that?
I thought we talked about last week. Remember, I was like talking about your operation, that pot metaphor. Your operations has to be solid to take on a lot of new clients too.
Yeah.
No,
I think that's what happened.
But there's a big difference. Those guys were already past 10, $20 million when those things are a different level of problem. like when someone's doing 100K, these are problems are really not a problem because they can solve it themselves most of the times.
Sure.
But yeah. Well, that's good though. That's awesome to see that good turnaround there. The entrepreneur roller coaster.
Honestly, and like that's why it's just like, yeah, man, I know. It's like just finding that peace of mind. It's like so important. To just be the calm within the storm of everything that happens, right?
Yeah.
Same with women too. Just like that's what business and women teach us similarly. It's just like ups and downs, chaos, feminine, the problems, and it's just like you're at the center of it all, just like unreactive to it. Like, all right, cool, I'll deal with it.
Yeah, it's true.
So are you saying the difference from last week to this week is just having a different closer?
No, man, we have the same closer. It's just the lead quality just went up.
Why is that?
Yeah. So like Marco has been in charge of the ads, and so he would have more accurate information. I went to ClickFunnels yesterday and check out our opt-in pages and see how they're performing, and we haven't tested any new angles recently, honestly. And like in my experience with hearing Marco talk about, and you guys probably know this, like with Facebook ads, it's so inconsistent with
it's statistical fluctuations. Yeah,
man, it's so like 1 week we'll get like no change in like targeting and messaging or copy or anything, and it's like we get a bunch of plumbers and farmers from the Midwest, and the next week we get all these doctors and lawyers, and it's just like it's so random. And
but
the statistics of it, like it's such like we really need so much more data than day to day or week to week data to be able to get those numbers tightened up.
And what we have in our control is what we should focus on, right? Like, and I think one of the biggest things I want to go through is right now, Alex Becker was talking about, I was going through Iron course again, and he was saying how like you need to hear that like straight line in your marketing funnel, and like our ads and our opt-ins and our VSL kind of don't all match together with like the main core offer does, but like some of the copy and like some of the promises that aren't consistent. And I think prospects kind of subconscious level kind of notice that incongruency. And so us like really hammering down on like the straight line of like the message across all the points of contact is really important that I want to focus on next week.
Isn't it? Didn't you also implement recently the nurturing funnel, like part of the funnel where when you've got them watching videos, you haven't done that yet?
Hasn't been set up yet. The video is still being edited, and so we have to find also we want to get a female therapist to like we want to find her to record a video. We want to give her a script and say some stuff too. So there's 2 videos, and then we want to add the homework. So yeah, that page hasn't been set up yet even.
Yeah.
Do you have separate funnels for ads versus organic?
No. Not right now.
Are you tracking them separately? Like
we haven't gotten like any organic calls yet. Like there's like 20 videos I've recorded or 15 videos I recorded for the channel, and like the editor, we're finding a second editor right now because he's slower than we expect. He's brand new. He's taking forever to edit these, but like he has all these other videos in the funnel he's editing first, and then he's going to get to the organic videos. Like I'm giving him ads too, so it's like I need to hire a second editor, which we're in the process of doing. But yeah, things are going well this week for me. I don't know, like as far as the problem, honestly. So if you guys want to go first, and if I think going, I'll let you know.
Go ahead, Manny. I think I always go second. So.
What are we? So we're still holding on the webinar conversions on Facebook. I recorded, so I'm now looking at it, like one of the things I realized as I was running the webinar offer is that like, and when you start seeing the drop-off curve, especially Webinar Fuel, it's so good at being able to see the drop-off curves and all those things. Like, and there are softwares that, I think Webinar Fuel is the most advanced software for webinar today in the market. If anyone's doing webinars, that's the software to use. Everything else, Webinar Fuel.
Oh, Webinar Fuel. Okay.
Yeah. This guy's partnered with Russell Brunson now, like ClickFunnels guys. So I think they might be partner, like Russell might have invested in it too. So the reason why I like it is because it allows me to have a lot of granularity on who watched the offer, when they dropped off, all of those different things that we can use in our marketing across the board and like really get clarity and also see the drop off curves and understand what's happening. So a couple of big things as I was thinking about it, the drop offs and stuff, is that there's two distinct phases of the webinar or two different parts of the webinar. One is like all the explanation that we do, and then there's the offer. So you can modify the explanation and change that and hope to get to a certain like 50% retention at the time you get the offer out, which is what like we're right now at 30%, which is not good. I want to improve that. So some things have to be modified on that end to get that, and which we've done. So we'll see how that goes. But the key, as I was thinking about it, is like the offer itself, like that's where the big changes can happen. The messaging can do little changes initially, but offer is where the big changes are.
Yeah.
Offer is where like you can basically double, triple, quadruple any kind of conversions versus messaging. Messaging, it's like, yeah, you will get some improvements, but you're not going to get like those massive changes. So what I did was I took I just started another test today, just taking the same webinar and trying different like offers at the end of it to see what truly gets, the conversions going. So the pricing, like, so we can sell $1,000 for 12 months, but then I was like, how about I change that to $500 for 6 months just to see what changes in that, in what is like in that perceived obstacle that people might be thinking they have, and even like how to position the trial, like a $27 trial or a $7 trial or a $1 trial or all of those things. John, you said $1 trial doesn't work for you, right?
It's weird. Like I did $1 trial for some promos, right? And I got a bunch of people in, and then, I look at it on the offer and I say, okay, well, how much money did I actually make from that $1 trial? So I can look at it right now and tell you.
I would like to see per user as well, total, but also per user. Or per...
Yeah, well, okay. So on one of the $1 trial offers we did, the first one we did, there was 121, or it sold basically 14. It's made $14,000 so far, right? Out of 121 users. So per user is $115. Right,
okay.
Of purchase per purchase.
Right? So they stuck around for 3 months, 4 months.
Mm-hmm. Now that's lower than the average person that came in from another, but we pulled in a lot more people, right? And then I did it again, and the second time I did it in 2021, pulled in a total. So far, the total is $4,042, right? And these numbers will go up over time, right?
Over how many people?
That was 65 people.
Yeah, so it's $70 right now, but it'll change over time.
Yeah, because what happens, and that's the thing I think people neglect in the membership model as well, is that you have some people that will just keep on paying for 50 years, right? Mm-hmm. And so over time, you accumulate more of those people. And so with the $1 trial offer, like I said, the first one was 3 years ago or 2 years ago. This one was a year ago. Mm-hmm. So, it's kind of hard to tell, but that's why I look at it from the long run, is like, what are we seeing happen over the space of it? But if I look at that, like we can compare that to a $7 trial offer, right?
The only difference is we have to look at the volume in totality, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's not okay to just like evaluate $1 trial on the $1 trial on that person only, because a $1 trial will probably bring in 3 $1 trials, not one $1 trial, right? Exactly. And that changes the game completely.
Yeah, it depends on, you have to kind of factor in what is the conversion rate.
Exactly. So what's the conversion rate on that offer versus this offer? And what's the total volume of money made on that offer versus this offer in one offer shot?
Yeah. But here's something that's interesting. If I look at the $7 trial offer, like one of them, like the latest $7 trial offer, it's brought in $93,000. And there was 1,059 people that took up on that. So that means that it's $87 per person, which is actually lower than the $1. So but again, it depends, it's so variable over time.
So
and like I
so
said, it's conversion rate.
maybe it's all the same. It doesn't matter if it's 83 or 115 or 70. Maybe they're all equaling out over a period of time.
If they all equal out, right?
Then $1 is a winner.
Then $1 is a winner. Exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Because you're going to
you
get
more
probably
people.
double, triple, quadruple the number of people from it.
All right, making a note here to maybe try to switch everything to just start for $1. But then the real question too becomes this: should you even charge anything?
Free trial.
Like, is a 7-day free trial or a 30-day free trial even better, right? Where you take the credit card information up front and auto bill, right? So you're not taking the dollar, you're saying it's free, but you do have to put in your credit card information so that we can,
There's a lot of other services tend to do that, right? Like,
Yep.
yeah. Instead of making you do $1, it's free. And like, I would say most other services, it's like that, like free trial.
All SaaS does it like that all the time.
All the
right?
time.
Yeah.
Even Close.io, if you do it, like they'll give you a 14-day trial of full-blown service, and then you buy. By the way, John,
and they just bank on people being lazy and not canceling it in time,
Yeah.
I'm going to try that actually. You know what I'm going to do? Actually, here's a okay, check this out. This might be cool. All right. I'm going to run a promo to my list and I'm going to say, hey, we're giving away Bulldog Mindset membership for free. Totally free for the first month. No $7 trial, no $1 trial. Yeah, basically you can get it totally free. Everyone, you come in, join, right? We're going to get a ton of people that'll sign up, right? And then I'm going to say, not only are you going to get it free, but you're going to get a bonus. I'm going to throw in a bonus 15-minute call to help you chart your financial consultation call, right? That'll help you chart your financial, and it's going to go straight to the sales team to Setter.
I like
so
that.
Not only will I bring in a ton of people in the membership, which they'll be primed because they're getting this free, but then it's a bonus. They're getting a sales. They don't know it's a sales call, but I mean, it's going to be I'll have to just instruct the setter to help them plan their, he's going to vet them out.
Is this everything, like all like your email, organic, or just a specific segment?
I would do email, just shoot an email just to test this out and see how this works. But that could be a huge offer.
Yeah, you want to do a controlled trial before you go all over.
Because imagine if I bring in, like, I do that promotion, right? I think we could probably push 300 memberships hitting the list there, right? And then out of those 300 memberships, I bet we could book, something like 100 calls. And I bet the show up rate would be 50% on those calls. So we might be able to get 50 calls out of it and then probably close 5 to 10 people. That would, bump it up to more like $50,000 to $100,000 right off the bat.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, this is all in the offer, right? It's got nothing to do with the product.
Yeah.
It's all in the freaking offer. And like, just figuring out different angles to the offer until the offer that hits, right?
Yes.
We just don't know what is the angle that'll like hit it out of the ballpark, which will be like orders of magnitude different from anything else that we try.
Well, look at Reed Hastings, right? Netflix, right? Perfect example, right? They tested, I forget how many offers until they found that one offer that was 2 DVDs or 2, I can't remember what the offer was.
It was a free 7-day trial, right?
Yeah, it was something like that. And then you got a 2 DVD plan or whatever it was. And that thing just killed. And then they just killed pretty much all the other offers. But they tested a ton of offers, if I remember.
So I should try a free trial. That'd be insane.
The only problem with the economics on a free trial for your product is that it requires like such a high conversion rate to overcome. I mean, I don't know.
It's only a trial. It's a trial. Like this is a trial offer. Like we won't know. But the thing is, we're collecting a 6-month or an annual subscription, so it doesn't matter after the 7-day period. So within 7 days, we'll kind of get some data points very quickly. Right. So we don't have to wait for 6 months to get data points.
Look at also what Udemy does, right? Udemy is like their offer is basically, all right, this course is $200, but you're getting it for $10 discount. Like it's a ridiculous discount. So, but yeah, you're right. Offer is the most important thing by far, right? Even just now, right? iPhone 14 just came out, right? No matter what messaging Apple put, they're not selling more iPhones. If they're like, the only thing that's selling iPhones is the offer. And for Apple, the offer is not the price, it's the features in the phone, right? So what they're focused on is better camera, break-proof glass, what all these things, those are the offer. That's the offer. And that's
well,
why
those are the
buy.
features, right?
But it is the offer because it's a physical product.
The offer could be more of like how they do some price positioning with the carriers and things like that. Like that would give them even more like ways to. I think here's the thing: like the cell phone market is already done.
Well, yeah.
Done in the sense it's peaked out. Now it's just like people's cycles of refreshing their phones will take, instead of taking a year or 2 or 3, it'll be like 5-6 years. And Apple knows that, and Samsung knows that, and everyone's just like, there's nothing new happening. Like, there's no new mega features that are coming anytime soon on these phones. They're just like boring ass features.
Well, I had to buy it because it's got a new camera. So
what are you gonna do with the new camera? You always use the front end camera, right?
It's an upgrade front end camera and the rear camera for.
Actually, I find that the front, like a nicer front end camera makes me look bad. So I actually want shittier front end camera, so that it can hide all my inconsistencies of my face. So I'd much rather have like a really terrible front camera so I can look good on that.
I remember seeing like a parody on like Apple of like saying like it's basically, yeah, we pretty much did nothing to this phone, but you're still gonna buy it because you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Is it that? I mean, Apple's really good at branding and like loyalty and like that's their commercials, which they don't even run a lot of. Like, it's never really talking about the features. Usually, sometimes, but it's more like, what was that first big commercial with Apple? It was like the Apple versus Dell, and it had like that one actor versus that like boring guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's like, no, you're gonna be the cool kid,
Yeah. They understand branding at a level that's or they can afford to do branding at a level that 99% of other companies will never be able to get to.
Yeah.
And they sell on branding. They don't really sell on sales. Like there's sales, there's marketing, and there's branding, right? And their branding power is so high, they don't need to do sales, or they don't even need to do as much marketing because the brand kind of trumps it all.
Yeah, like you rarely see Apple brand commercials like ever or anything.
Yeah, only when the new phone comes out for the first like 30 days they'll run those commercials, and then you'll forget about it. Yeah. But people are buying their shit.
Google, like, I mean, Google does market some of its products, like its phones and stuff, but like Google doesn't spend that much on marketing. Probably the company is. It's crazy.
Well, Google search doesn't need to do it, but Google Pixel phone, they need to, because they don't have a brand in that market, right?
See, branding though versus direct sales marketing, it's sort of like this. There's a turning point, right? And so it's like, if you spend a whole bunch of money on branding, if you don't hit that threshold, all that money is a waste, right? But if you do hit the threshold, then you dominate, right? So a good example would be Tai Lopez, right? If he could have spent, he spent a lot of money on advertising, but once he hit that threshold, then people started talking about him, right? And then it created that snowball. Everyone was making parodies. Everyone's talking about Tai Lopez. Same thing just happened with what's his name? Andrew Tate, right? I mean, he didn't actually spend money on advertising. He did it in an even smarter way. But once he hit that threshold, branding became the thing. And then now he's making $4 million a month all of a sudden from membership, right? Because the branding is so powerful. But the thing is, you have to be able to saturate a market. So you have to have enough money, but you can pick a small market and brand yourself in that small market. And
the good thing about that, the way Tai Lopez did it, he didn't just spend money to brand. He actually had direct response ads running. So it was double, right? He was saturating the market while running direct response ads that were basically paying him back. So he was never out of money, out of his own pocket. So he was playing with the house money every single day while building his brand, right? Because all the money he was making from his ads, he was, even if he was spending $1 million a month, it didn't matter because he was making 2, 3, 4 million back.
I'm
But
not
he
sure if
had
anyone knows the numbers, but like I wonder how much like his Lamborghini ad made in comparison to all his other ads. Because I saw some of his other ads back in the day, but more than anything, I think that one ad made over 80%.
Yeah.
well, part of it too is that, again, you spend this much money in the ads, right? And then when you hit that branding threshold, people start typing in your name and your website on their own. And then they're going to, or if they do see your ad, they're hyper responsive. They're like, oh, I want to see what this thing is, because they already know who you are, right? That's the thing. That's where it skews the data dramatically, because now you can't really look at the ad and see how the ad's performing, because it's not that ad. It's the whole macrocosm of you now achieving branding significance where people know who you are. And now, it's that relevance that makes it the big difference.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It is like, for businesses like ours, we can't really do branding, but the way we do branding is through direct response advertising. That's the
Right.
only way we can do it. You can try and saturate a market through organic media, but it almost is like, it's like fool's errand trying to do that.
Yeah, unless you do something like Andrew Tate did, where he just had a whole army of people making accounts and then basically propping up he was essentially getting free advertising, right? Because every single other person that created a TikTok account or a Instagram account and made clips of him, he was just getting the advertising for free.
Yeah.
But it was the same thing as market saturation with advertising.
Yeah, better to go like that is okay with a specific kind of niche or a market, which is more like MLM style market, but most other markets won't really allow for something like that. So you will still need, like, advertising is the only trusted way to do this for real every single time.
Well, you know who else did this though? Actually, here's an even more relevant example. Alex Hormozy. So he didn't spend money on advertising. He just did brand, because he was like, I'm not selling you anything. I'm just giving you this for free. And then boom.
That's not a business. I don't think of Alex Hormozy's shit as a business right now.
I mean,
yeah, but if he
has
It's just-
acquisition.com, he's
no.
trying to acquire these like top.
It doesn't matter. We don't know what's coming out of that. That's not a business. It's like freaking.
It's not a business, but he's investing in companies. And he's making money
Yeah,
on those companies.
but
What are
he
you
could
talking
be
about?
like, all these investments could be coming from so many different angles. Like, we don't know which of those is coming from this angle. It's not a business.
Here's the thing,
it's a
though.
hobby for him.
No. Here's the thing. Though.
Nah, dude, he wants to become
Here.
a billionaire. And he's gonna do acquisition.com is what he says.
The acquisition, but here's the thing. Even if we took out the acquisition.com part of it, if right now he made a $1,000 product or let's say he did a high ticket product in the business space that was $20,000 or $30,000, and he turned that audience and he put on a sales funnel, he would instantly have a $40 million business.
Yeah, but it's a different game altogether, because he's coming with proven credentials from very early on, and now he's able to live off of that money for 3 years while he's doing this business,
Yeah.
quote unquote business, which isn't really a business for 3 years. It's just like putting out content out there. Yeah, it's a long play branding play for someone who has deep pockets to do that. But it's not the kind of business that most people can actually run in any real capacity. Because that long play, most people don't have like a 3-year runway or 5-year runway to just go and put out content out there and hoping that somehow something will come back to them. It's great. Like, his content is beautiful. I love his stuff, but more because of his past experience, not because he has, because his YouTube channel is making him a shit ton of money. Okay. I think we lost John.
Yeah, we lost him, which is interesting that we're still here.
Yeah.
Internet probably broke down. But I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I think he's obviously a smart guy. And I think like whatever he puts his energy and attention into, he wants an ROI on it.
But the thing is, how long of a long term can he play the ROI game for? A lot of businesses that we're dealing with, or that we know, we don't have like a 5 year runway to make that ROI. We need like a 3 month runway, a 1 month runway. So he's playing a branding game, which allows him to play a 5 year game, a 10 year game.
But so one thing he
We
talks,
most
one thing
people
he
can't
talks
afford to
about
play
is,
that game.
afford. I don't know, man. Like I want to talk about this more because like
Hmm.
he talks about like, okay, it's like the chicken and the egg scenario. Like, do you have that long-term game in the beginning and then you're able to go through that strategy because of that? Or is it like, you know what I mean? Like what's an example of like, what would you do differently if you were playing that longer term game then?
Right. No. So this is where I'm not saying what Alex Hermosi is wrong in his given situation. If he has $100 million, he doesn't need that money. So he can play a 10 year game and still come out victorious. Most people in our industry, direct response industry, we're playing a 3 month game, a 6 month game. We're hoping that we can get to like 3 months to 6 months to a 9 month game to a 12 month game to a 1 year game. Because the deeper your pockets, the longer the game you can play, the more your chances of coming out victorious. So he has such deep pockets, he can play a 10 year branding game and still come out victorious. While businesses that are making like $500,000 a year, you're freaking, sometimes your cash flow and your payroll is to the point where like it's a month to month play. So it ain't like, it's never as easy as what Alex Hermosi can do right now. He wasn't playing that game when he started his business. If he started that business, the fitness business, and he tried to play this game, he would be out of business.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
mean,
way
it
he
would-
would even be in business 3 months later or 6 months later.
Well, I mean, if you can last long enough to,
That's the thing, right?
That's the
So
thing.
because he has deep pockets, he can make this content for freaking like 10 years and not worry
Right.
about this shit because everything will still come back to him.
I mean, and the longer you make the content and you don't charge anything for it, the faster you grow, right? It's just like a good
It's a
example of this
trust
was-
thing, right? People will trust
Yeah.
you more, people will refer you more, people will give your brand a lot more validity because
Yeah.
of that. So
Look
that
at-
is just
Yeah. Tim Ferriss is another good example, right? So, because he did the same thing. He's basically, he made a bunch of money from his books and whatnot. And then he started his podcast, right? Tim Ferriss's podcast, I think for 2 years or 3 years, he did no advertising, didn't make any money from the podcast, just made it grow as much as possible. And then he turned on advertising, and then he immediately had $100,000 a month revenue on the podcast.
Yeah. Businesses can't, like our style of businesses just can't afford to do that. We might have 3 months, 6 months, 9 months at best to do stuff like that. And
So
the other,
I thought you were referring to like long-term vision, like and strategy, like overall, like a 10-year plan. Like most people come into business and they're like, what's my 1 to 2 year plan?
Mm.
I want to hit 7 figures and I'm good. That's all I think about. Like for my company, like I'm Pinnacle Men, like I want to be, ever since I was like literally early age of college, I wanted to develop something that like I wanted to solve the relationship problem in the world. You know, people just aren't happy as much as they used to be. And like that's, I want to make this like a fucking worldwide company, right? Where I'm not even the face of it, right? I can
Right.
build it, sell it. And like that's my long-term goal. So I thought that's what you were referring to as far as like,
yeah, I like the vision and I like the goal, the long-term goal. What we're referring to with Hermosi is like, is that really a business that he's trying to build? Because he's just playing a branding game right now, a long-term branding game with his acquisition.com. And whatever comes out of it, it's like cherry on top of whatever he's doing. That's the game he's playing.
so the deeper philosophical question here is like, is one of the reasons why he's so successful is because he's giving so much value with no ask in return for anything. So people are willing to give him that, right? Law of reciprocity. And it's like, if that's the case, which I think it is like, how can we embody that as much as we can in our businesses by still making a good bottom line? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the hard
Well,
balance to try to.
Yeah, I mean, Gary Vaynerchuk's first book, right? Or well, not his, I guess second book,
Jab,
jab,
right
jab,
hook.
jab, right hook,
Yeah.
right? That's the whole idea behind it is like give, and then you have one ask. Or the other thing about it too is masking the ask, right? So that it looks like a benefit, right? Which it is a benefit, you know that you're giving, but
You should believe that your service is a benefit, right? If you don't, there's a problem.
yeah. But when people don't even know you're trying to sell them anything at all, where it's like, a free call is something like that. I mean, more and more people know that a free call means a sales call now, but something along those lines, when people first started doing that, that was, a way to not at all look like you're asking for anything.
Yeah. Yeah. There's, it's like, why is Alex Hermosi so successful now versus why was Alex Hermosi so successful when he actually built his business? Two different questions. And I think we should also be wary of not trying to do things that people are doing at a different stage of business. Like every once in a while, I'll have people come in like, oh, Elon Musk has got like 5 companies. Why can't I build 5 companies? I'm like, you bitch, you need 20 years of Elon Musk to get to 5 companies. You're not going to do what Elon Musk did. You're not going to do what Elon Musk's doing right now. You're going to have to go back and do what Elon Musk did 25 years ago. That's how you become Elon Musk today. So we have to be careful as entrepreneurs to not try and emulate what a successful entrepreneur is doing today, because there might be some lessons in it that we have to take away, and we should take away a lot of lessons from it, but their strategies may be totally ineffective for our game of business at this stage of business.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's absolutely true. So,
and it's almost like dangerous to go down that route.
Yeah. Well, it's even this, some people, they'll have interviews with successful entrepreneurs and they'll say, what was one thing you would have done differently? And they're like, oh, I wouldn't have worked as hard. I would have spent more time not working and enjoying. And I was like, I'm always like, yeah, I mean, they think that's true, but they forget that what happened was they pushed the boulder up the hill and now they're at a point where they can coast. And so, they forgot that, that most people don't, because their business is just running, with them only working 4 hours a day now or whatever it is, or 4 hours a week, and they forgot that. So, but, a lot of guys try to follow that advice. They're like, oh yeah, don't work as hard, just work a few hours a day on your business, and it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. There's the bias of like the time bias that's not clear to us, to anyone a lot of times in this game. Like, okay, at what level or when?
Yeah. Anyways, I speaking of Elon Musk, like I read his autobiography like back in like 7 years ago, and like when he was building X2, like him and his brother were in this dingy little office, like sleeping there, like, working literally 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
For like the first 2 years, like, and he talked about this. He's like, he's like, well, if you work 8 hours a day, that'll take you this long. But if you work this long, then it's like 6 years. And it's like, like literally all he did was work every single day for like 2 years.
Yeah, even his dating life was in that office. Like he would bring girls to that office. That was his life. Like his, yeah. Well, this is good, man. Like $1 trial. I'm excited to see what comes out of it.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll try a free trial. Not sure about that one, but probably worth doing, just to see what comes out of that. It's like going back to the offer, the idea of like the offer creation and offer, like constantly figuring out, because I think what Alex Hormozi did with his offer was, while every marketing agency was making the standard offer, he changed the whole game of that offer by making an offer so fucking crazy irresistible that it didn't make any sense to decline that offer. And I don't know how we do that in our respective businesses, because and that would be an interesting thing to do. Like, again, go back and iterate on the offer. Another thing I was thinking is maybe give 1+1, like when I give them $1 trial, their friend can also get the trial along with them, like, or the membership is like +1, but it's like small iterations on the offer. It's not really a big iteration on the offer, but it's different things to try. yeah, still don't know how to pull off what Hermosi pulled off with that insane offer.
Well, he had a formula for it. I think that was good, which was to say that if your product costs 10 times as much, what would it be? Like, what would you offer? And then, and still charge the same amount, but then, give the value of what it would be if it was 10 times. And then another one where he said, if you had to do it for a tenth as much of the price, what would it be? And then I forgot what the third one was. There was a third one in there that he had for the kind of exercise of
I just went through his training again, and I don't remember the third question. I remember the first one was to add more value. The second one was to reduce operations and service for the margins, but I don't remember the third question either. No.
Yeah, I thought there was a third one. Maybe I'm mistaken, but
yeah, that's on my mind right now, like how to improve the offer.
Yeah. I mean, I think especially if you're like specializing in more marketing and sales, like for me, like I'm in head of, like, I'm obviously biased because I'm in head of like the service fulfillment, and my background is like offering the service, and so I'm like really focused on that as a priority. But like, if your service isn't that great, if people don't like refer you by mouth to other people, then you need to improve your product.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it, and I don't even think we're there yet with my products yet. So I just need to figure out how to improve it even more. So
here's my problem. I've had people like who will come, they'll become customers and they'll refer 10 friends to it, and none of the friends will become members because those people don't have a way to communicate why this is so effective. I've heard this so many times. Like, people will be like, I love it, man. I've told so many friends, but they don't join.
Do you give a commission to people? Like,
yeah.
But you know how whatchamacallit, Maybelline, or not Maybelline, what's it? What's the
network marketing.
Yeah, you know how they solved that.
Yeah,
I forget what it's called now, but you know how they solved that problem? Or Tupperware.
The sisters. Huh? What's her name?
Or Tupperware is actually the
Tupperware is one, but the sisters, whatever they are. But yeah, anyways, go.
But they have a Tupperware party, and they have everyone come over their house, and then it's a sales pitch, right? So it's almost like, can you have like a Tupperware party so that they can experience it, where you don't just tell people to refer other people, but hey, we do this party thing, and all your friends jump on a focus block just for you, or something like that. I don't know, something where you're making it so that they're bringing people into it to actually experience it, as opposed to just saying this is good.
Yeah. I say maybe there's a way to give them a free trial, see what happens, just for their friends. But
the biggest leverage point is, like you're saying, is the offer. So that's where to focus the effort.
Yeah, the messaging is like it can improve, it should constantly be improving, but offers are like really easy to change, modify, and test, or very quick compared to messaging. Yeah. Okay, over to you.
Let me see what's going on. Okay, so the big one for me is that I'm hiring another sales team for paid ads. So I was talking to Nick, we talked about this last time, and he was like, yeah, the organic guys are doing great with organic conversion, but they're just not listening to what I need done for the paid. So rather than find that uphill battle, I was like, okay, well, fine, let's do a new sales team. So he found a guy that he knows that builds and runs sales teams. And so I'm hiring this guy, and basically the way that this looks is that I'm going to pay him a 6% commission off of sales, and then we'll pay the sales. Obviously I'll have to pay the setters and the closers, right? But all of those people will essentially work for me. I will own the sales team. I'll own the CRM. I'll own everything. And he's just going to be the one who hires the people and runs the sales team. And then he'll be able to do and he'll be working with Nick to do exactly what Nick wants to do, so that we can do this exactly how he has it planned out. So Pretty good deal, I think, at this point, because I'm
What
only
is it
paying,
that the sales guys are not doing that he wants them to do?
there's a lot of things like the way that the funnel's set up, insights into all the data, like because he wants to have, when they fill out the application, he wants to be able to see what the applications are and have that, so he can see,
But that's not
are
the
they actually
sales
qualified.
guy's problem. That's more of you guys writing, like you guys creating websites and
Well,
funnels.
it's the sales team, right? It's like the outsourced sales team that they have their own internal way that they're doing things that
But
is
they
not.
like a sales team is not gonna create your funnel pages and maintain your like your funnel details and all those things.
Well,
They're
they
just
have
gonna
the
take phone calls.
No, but they're not. They're doing the funnel. They're putting it. It's all in their system, right? So
So you don't own that funnel?
no. That's the way
Why
that they
would you,
do.
why
Yeah.
would you
So
do that?
this
Well,
one I
not
will.
for organic. I'm saying for the paid media one.
No, for the paid one, I own everything. That's the whole point,
So
is that we're setting up an alternate.
so that's
sales
what
team.
I'm saying too. Like if you own everything, then you're the one who has to build it out anyways, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
then it's not up to salespeople. You have to do it. You and your team have to do it.
Well, between Nick and the other guy I've hired that's doing the sales team, they're working on building out exactly the funnel that Nick wants, right? So, which makes sense, because then then at that point it's exactly what there's it's exactly what he knows works and converts, and we can tweak it and have all the data to change it if we need to. So,
what is it that you're trying to do with cold funnel right now? Are you trying to validate it, or are you just trying to assume validation and scale it?
Assume validation and scale it. I mean, yeah, because it's different we know that the offer converts, right? So it's just a matter of, it needs to be a different presentation of that offer and process for cold traffic. And then if cold traffic works, then then maybe we look at pushing the warm traffic through there as well. So
John,
that's another thing.
I got to go in like 3 minutes because I got to get ready for a call. But we tried to hire a setter and we thought he was good and he sucked. So where would you suggest I find a good setter at?
That's a good question. I mean, the only place that I've heard, because I wouldn't recommend closers right anymore, is Sales Sniper. That's the other place that I heard. Yeah.
We hired a rep from Sales Sniper a while ago, and he was good at first, but there's a personality clash. But yeah, we'll look there.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, so that's the big thing is getting that set up. I'm only paying like $3,000 for setup fee for this sales guy to create the sales team, and he's basically doing all of that work. And yeah, so I think it's a fairly good investment because there's very little risk on my part. So, and I'm just paying commissions off of paid ads. I mean, I'll have to pay for paid ads, obviously, but so.
Yeah, you have to pay for ads.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that Nick knows what he's doing as far as paid ads, right? So I'm not worried about that, especially since he shut off ads when they weren't working right. So, that's a good trustworthy sign.
That is a good sign, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I got to head out a little earlier to prepare for this call, but all
right.
Have a great week,
Josh.
guys.
Yep.
How did it go with the see you, man? How did it go with the launch with what's his name?
With the book launch?
No.
Connor's launch?
Yeah.
That we pushed back 1 week. We're going to start the pre-launch material next Wednesday because I've been trying to get the sales page and everything up, but I think that's going to do well. It's looking pretty good here. So I'd be glad to get that thing off my plate because I've been having to act as project manager on that. And project manager is not the skill set that I have or that I like. So
it's not the thing you should do.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, yeah.
And it's gonna be on Evergreen, right?
At first we were gonna do it as Evergreen, but after talking with the copywriter, he feels like it'll be better if we don't do an Evergreen, at least to start off, but we do different iterations of it. So in 3 months, maybe do another launch, but we'll have all the launch material and everything set up. And then he can just basically, make some changes and perfect it, which I agree. I think that makes sense. And then yeah, and then we'll see. Eventually, it'll be evergreen, but
So you're going to close it out at the end of the week.
yeah. Well, it will be totally done. I mean, we're starting next Wednesday on the pre-launch material. Then the official open card is that Monday following, and then the open card is for a week. So, and then it'll be completely done.
And you said 1,000 or 10,000 people on the email list?
I think it's around 7,000 on the email list. It's not a huge number, but I think a lot of the heavy lifting, a lot of the sales will be coming from IG and YouTube. So
yeah, it's huge. Are you also going to send traffic as affiliates?
no, I don't have it set up to do that. And then I've got so many other promotions I've been doing that I don't want to, if this does well, then, then it's an opportunity to send some traffic to it. But
you guys doing any other promotions right now?
I've got another promotion. I mean, I just launched that book on Simple Programmer, the Battle Hardened Developer, and we did good with the launch. I mean, we hit #1 in all the categories, right, in software development and stuff like that, and so that's good. I don't know how many copies. Probably sold like 600-700 copies at this point. So pretty good, and it looks like it's going to stick in Amazon. As a we'll have to see over time, but and then I'm doing a launch or not a launch, but an affiliate promotion I pushed a bunch of traffic to Anthony or to John Anthony's stuff because he was doing a free 3-day boot camp. Now he did a $29 one, and they had a huge success with that. So, and then I'm going to get he's going to push traffic to my stuff and email his list, which I already got. Like the last time he did that, I think I got 3 or 4 sales. So that was well worth it.
Yeah, it's a reciprocal deal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're not doing affiliate. We're just doing, I think that works. And then I've got a promotion I'm doing for one of my coaching clients has this automated trading software that he's developed. It's high ticket, like a 5K software. So I told them I would push some traffic to them as an affiliate. So we'll see. I think that will actually be a good offer for my list. So, and I've got my copywriter that's able to execute on that stuff, so I don't really have to get involved with it.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, that should be the end of the pipe of promotion. So
what do you mean?
Like all these promotions have been back to back, but now once that's done, then there really won't be any more promotions.
You're going to be focusing on
focusing on well and YouTube video production quality, getting that up. It's been interesting too. I noticed some trends, like YouTube video. Most popular YouTube video that I released was I got engaged. So personal videos seem to be doing well, and long form video. So I'm going to have to see how to capitalize on that.
Yeah, that stuff is like way too groundbreaking. Like it's just like fresh off the press kind of deal. So that's going to always have a different level of like adoption.
Yeah.
That title itself is like, will create a lot of buzz. Right. People all want to know, especially in your manosphere or whatever it
exactly.
is.
Yeah.
Like that's a big deal. So that if you could keep making videos on I got engaged, that would be cool. Every week, like I got engaged again. I got engaged.
And I've got a call to action in it to book a call. So
yeah. Oh shit! I got to run now. I can't even wait.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Talk later.
Yep.